everyone, and welcome to another reading vlog, more specifically another TinyAthon. This time around I'm doing a 24-hour TinyAthon, and I'm actually doing this with my friend Christina. She has a channel called Christina's Journey. You probably heard me talk about her on my channel before if you've been following me for a while. So yeah, we just decided to do this little 24-hour readathon this Saturday. It's actually the night before that I'm filming this clip because I thought I would just tell you right now my TBR, and then at midnight I'm just going to jump into my first book. So I picked out an audiobook and a physical book to try and complete in the entirety in the next 24 hours. So the first one I plan to pick up is the audiobook, which is Call Me By Your Name by Andre Astaman. I don't know if I'm saying that right. In fact, I'm sure I'm probably not, so I'm sorry about that. But this is a book that I have not seen the film for, but I've seen several clips from it, and it seems like a fantastic film. So I want to get it from the library, but I thought maybe I should pick up the book first. And it's also narrated by Armie Hammer, who is one of the main characters in the film. So I'm pretty excited to pick this up. I've also heard that it has fantastic writing, so I'm very excited for that. And then the physical book that I plan to pick up is The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller. I'm actually picking this up because, well, one, I love like Greek or Roman mythology, but also because I really want to read her other book, which is called Circe, but I've heard that if you like that one, you'll like this one also, and vice versa. So I thought I'll just start with the, first one that she wrote. I don't know if this is her first ever book, but I know it's her first one, I think, in like writing about, mythology characters. So I thought I'd pick this one up first, and yeah, I'm pretty excited for this one. Also, I had a little flip through and just read a couple of little paragraphs, which might seem like a stupid thing to do because you can probably spoil yourself that way, but what I read, I really liked the writing. So hopefully I will really enjoy this. Also, it's like a nice floppy paperback, which it's kind of small to usually have that kind of flop to it, but this one does pretty well. So yeah, those are the two books that I plan to pick up over the next 24 hours. So it's currently 7 p.m. so I only have a few hours until I can pick up my first book, and yeah, I will talk to y'all tomorrow. So it is officially midnight, so I am going to be starting on my audiobook. So it is now noon, which means the readathon is already half over, but I did start both of my books and I'm really enjoying both of them. So I'm 60 pages into The Song of Achilles. I'm loving the writing in this and the story and the characters, and I'm at the halfway point in my audiobook, which I'm kind of shocked about. It's kind of short. It's only 7 parts, and I think each part is like maybe a little over an hour. So I'm at part 3.5, so I'm halfway through this, and I'm enjoying it also. Again, I love the writing and I love the characters. So I am just super in the mood to read today, so I decided to dress all cozy in my little sweater, and of course that means that I would get a horrible headache / migraine today. So that's lovely. I'm going to eat lunch now and take some Advil, and hopefully I will feel better after that. But yeah, it's kind of unfortunate, but I'm really enjoying both of my books. If worse comes to worse, I'm just going to focus on listening to my audiobook because that's easier to do with a headache, but I'm hoping to be able to feel better after lunch and just read both of them. So I'm going to do that, and then when I come back I will tell you like what both of these books are about and what I'm actually thinking of them. I've got my lunch, my mom is vacuuming, my neighbor is mowing his lawn. Now I just have to find something fun to watch. So it is now 1 o'clock in the afternoon, my mom is still vacuuming, my neighbor is still mowing his lawn. I'm going to try my best to remove that sound when I'm editing this, but I'm sure you'll probably still be able to hear it a little bit, so sorry about that. I would also just like to say that I watched that last clip back where I was filming my face, and I am aware that I made a lipstick mistake today. Okay, I overdraw my lips. I've said it before on my channel, I'm not afraid or ashamed to admit that I do that, and I'd like to think that like 85% of the time it looks okay. Like, it looks kind of natural. I think I can do it all right. And then 15% of the time, one of those times being right now, I don't pull it off well at all. So Sorry. I also accidentally left my camera on between the last clip in this one, so now my battery is flashing, so I'm just gonna talk about one of these books and then I'll charge my camera and then I'll talk about the other one when it's doing better. So I think I'll talk about this one first, The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller. This is about Achilles and Patroclus? Who knows, but it's basically their story, which I can't really remember a lot of the actual myth, so I don't know how accurate this really is, but in this book it's told from the perspective of Patroclus, and he is exiled from, he's a prince, and he gets exiled because he accidentally kills another boy when he was like 10 years old, and so that's how he ends up coming to be in the kingdom where Achilles is, and Achilles' father basically like sort of adopted all of these like boys that have been, you know, abandoned or exiled or whatever, because basically he trains them every single day, so then he'll have like a really good army in a couple of years. So Patroclus and Achilles end up forming a friendship and they like grow up together, and that's basically what I'm up to right now because I'm only 60 pages into it, but I know that their relationship grows into something more, and I think it takes us through the Trojan War, so I am really enjoying this so far. Her writing is really good. It's like very beautiful, but at the same time it's not flowery, and it's actually kind of simple. It flows really well. I feel like I'm reading it really quickly, so I really like it, and I'm really enjoying the characters also. Even though the part that I'm up to, they're only 12, but they talk like they're like older teenagers, which I guess like in this time it was very different, and people like were getting married at that age and stuff, so I guess that they did talk a lot older. But yeah, I'm really enjoying this. So I am going to upload a video. I tried to upload this video last night, and at first it told me that it was 54 minutes to upload the video, which is already kind of a long time. Then I took a shower, came out, and it said over 2 hours. So I was like, never mind. So I'm gonna upload it this afternoon. The reason I didn't want to upload it last night was because when I upload, I can't really go on the internet, otherwise it'll be even slower. So I'm gonna upload it this afternoon and just read the entire time, so I won't be on the internet at all. And then I think I'll probably save the last half of my audiobook for tonight when I'm like getting ready to go to bed, because that's usually when I listen to my audiobooks. So it is now 6:30 in the evening. I ate dinner and I watched the end of Thor Ragnarok with my mom, and then we started Infinity War, and oh my gosh, I am not even a superhero movie person, but I just love the Marvel characters so much that I have so many feelings when watching those movies. So, and in my opinion, and I will take this to my grave, Thor Ragnarok is the best Marvel movie in my opinion, just saying. Anyway, so I read up to page 108 in the Song of Achilles. My head still does not feel that great, so I think I am just going to focus on listening to my audiobook for the rest of the night. So like I mentioned earlier, the audiobook that I am listening to is Call Me By Your Name. I don't know if you can really see the cover, but I am on part 4 of 7. I'm like a quarter of the way through part 4, so I think I have like roughly, I'd say 3 hours, probably less because I'm listening to it on 1.5 speed. Usually I can listen to books on 2 times speed, but I also usually listen to nonfiction books, and for some reason this book, the writing is just so beautiful that I feel like I don't want to listen to it at such a fast rate of speed, so I'm doing it a little bit slower than I usually would. But I am really enjoying it, so like I said earlier, I'm going to tell you a little bit about what the book is about. Honestly, I don't really know how to describe it, and I feel like people should just read this book. Basically, it's set in Italy in the 80s, I believe, and it's told from the perspective of Elio, who I don't know if they ever actually mentioned his name in the book yet. I think they are going to mention it at some point, but that is his name, and he lives in Italy with his family. And then there's, I think he's like an American, I honestly don't really know, he's like an American student or something that it has come to live with them just for the summer or whatever, and he's called Oliver, and Elio and Oliver end up kind of forming a bit of a relationship. So yeah, if that sounds like something interesting, you should just pick it up because the writing is really beautiful, honestly. The only thing I don't like about listening to the audiobook is that even though I actually really like Armie Hammer as a narrator, like I really like his voice, it's very relaxing, but when he talks in Elio and Oliver's voices, he doesn't change them at all. And he does change it when he's talking from the perspective of some of the other characters, but he doesn't do it with Elio and Oliver, which are the two characters that are mainly talking. And so sometimes I have a little bit of a hard time keeping track of who is saying what. And I also really have to pay attention, which is another reason why I'm listening to it at a slower rate of speed, because Elio, who is the person we're getting the perspective from, he will sometimes talk a lot just in his head, or like act as if he's talking to Oliver, but he's really just saying it in his head. And so I really have to pay attention when I'm listening to it to know whether this is a conversation that they're actually having or this is a conversation that he's imagining them having in his brain. So it's a little bit confusing, but the writing is just beautiful and I do really like the story as well. It just hits you with all of the feels. So I am just going to keep on reading this, or listening to it rather, and yeah, I will update y'all later. So it is 7:15 in the evening and I am a little bit past part 5 of 7 in my audiobook. I'm still really enjoying it, obviously, so now I'm going to have a little snack. I've got my coffee, which might help my head a little bit, one can hope. And then I also have half of a chocolate chip muffin, because chocolate might help. Well, it is now 10:18 in the evening, and I'll be honest, I have not read anything since the last time I talked to you because my headache has just not been going away. So I think I'm going to extend this into tomorrow, just to, you know, give myself a little bit of leeway with all the time that I couldn't read today because of my head. So yeah, I'm still almost finished with my audiobook, so I'm hoping that maybe I'll be able to finish it tonight, but either way, I'll probably just finish it tomorrow. I did, however, change because it is the 4th of July, and all of the fireworks shows, like the ones that our town or whatever puts on, are not happening, but there are just people nearby that are shooting off fireworks, so I stood outside for a little bit on the deck because someone right down the road was shooting off some like pretty good fireworks that I didn't think you could get if you're just like a normal civilian. So yeah, but those were pretty cool to watch just for a little bit because I actually really love fireworks, and like I understand why they were canceled because they don't want people gathering and stuff like that, but I was really sad that we didn't have them this year because my town puts on some really good fireworks and I look forward to it every year. But yeah, standing outside and watching the neighbors do it, possibly illegally, was a lot of fun. So yeah, I think that is probably all for tonight, and I will update y'all tomorrow. So it is about 1:30, it's the next day, obviously, and I woke up and I don't have a headache. Knock on wood. Hopefully I won't get one today. So I did quite a bit of reading this morning. I am halfway through part 7 of 7 in my audiobook, so I only have about 40 minutes left, probably less than that because I'm listening to it at a faster rate of speed. And then I read up to page 200 in the Song of Achilles this morning, so I'm about halfway through this. Actually more than halfway, because this is only about 370 pages, I think, because all the pages in the back are like a big old glossary of like all the gods and stuff. So I have less than half of this left to read, so I'm pretty confident that I'll be able to finish both of these by the end of the day, and I am still super enjoying both of them, so I don't really have much else to update you on until I finish one of them. So it is now 6:30 in the evening. You probably can't even see that, but I have changed hairstyles, as you can see, because my hair is just driving me insane. I really just want to chop it off, but I also don't have access to a hair professional and I don't trust myself to do it right myself. So yeah, that's my hair situation. Anyways, earlier this afternoon I finished Call Me By Your Name and I really enjoyed it. I still continued to have that little issue of not really knowing who was talking sometimes when it came to the dialogue, but overall I enjoyed the characters, I enjoyed the story, I thought the writing was beautiful, so I really want to watch the film, and then I can totally see myself rereading the book in its physical form just to like really appreciate the writing. So yeah, I finished that, and then I read up to page 260 of the Song of Achilles, so I think 110 pages from the end, and I'm still really enjoying this also. This is like almost a 5-star read for me. I mean, the ending might blow my socks off, who knows, but it's like I don't have anything bad to say about it. Like, all the components of this book I really like. I like the characters, I like the story, I like the writing, but it doesn't quite have that like 5-star feel to it, if you know what I'm saying. Like, there's really nothing bad about this book, but it's just not quite a 5-star read. But like I said, I haven't finished it, so the ending might blow me away. So yeah, I am going to have a snack, as I always do whenever I film these vlogs, and then I'm going to continue reading this book. So it is a little after 10 o'clock. I'm whispering because it's late and people are asleep. But I just finished The Song of Achilles, and this was so good. I really love this book. I still don't think it's quite at a 5-star, but I did really enjoy it. Alright, hold up a second here. It's the next day, and some things have been changed. I did actually end my reading vlog last night. I did my outro and everything whispering like an idiot, but then I sat and I stewed on this book and my thoughts and my rating all night long, and then when I woke up this morning, I decided to change my rating after thinking about it for a while. So I originally gave this a 4-star on Goodreads because, like I said, I enjoyed everything about it, but it just didn't seem to have like quite that 5-star feel to it. Like, it didn't quite feel on the same level as some of my other 5-star books that I have. And I still think that that's the case, but then I really thought about it and I was like, even though it's not quite at the same level as some of my other 5-star reads, there is literally nothing wrong with this book. Like, all the components of this book I loved, like the writing, the characters, the plot, all of it I really enjoyed, so it totally deserves a 5-star read. And then the more that I thought about the ending, the last 2 paragraphs are like tug at your heartstrings kind of stuff, and if I was a crier when it comes to books, I'd have definitely been crying. Like, if this was a movie, I would be bawling my eyes out watching like these final scenes, but I'm just not really a book crier. But still, any book, movie, song, any piece of artwork that is able to get that kind of emotion out of me, I think deserves a high rating. So I ended up giving this 5 stars on Goodreads because it deserved it. And I hope it makes sense what I'm saying, that like, this doesn't feel quite on the same level as some of the other 5-star books that I've read, but there's genuinely nothing wrong with it for me not to give it a 5-star rating. So I hope all of that made sense, but I just wanted to put this clip in here and update you on my thoughts before this reading vlog ends. So yeah, that basically concludes this TinyAthon, which I would say was super successful. I read 2 books in 2 days, and I loved both of them. I listened to the audiobook for Call Me By Your Name, and I loved that. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. And then I read The Song of Achilles and I gave this 5 out of 5 stars. So this was very successful. I'm so happy with all of the books that I read. And yeah, leave me a comment down below. Let me know if you've read either of these books and what you thought of them. I'd love to discuss them with you in the comments. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye!
You hear that, Samson?